Hey everyone, Barty Toto here, author of The Power of Asking for Women, and Disrupt Your Brand, as well as Kids for Gratitude. So the foundation of my business and my life is gratitude. You know, how did I go from nurse to New York Times author to training on communication, how to sell without selling, and how to stand out from your competition. And today is geared toward realtors. Real estate, I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there are realtors, and yes, you definitely have competition right now, especially with the way the rules have changed. And what you want to do is, one, you've got to get on YouTube. You need to be dominating YouTube, for instance, like with the phrase, best realtor, Dallas, Texas, or best realtor, New York City, or whatever phrase or keyword you want to do. Now, why would you do that? Because people will search for a realtor before they search for a house. If you are sitting there on YouTube and you have house numbers in your titles or a description of the house, nobody searches by that. They actually search, number one, for a realtor. They want someone that they can trust, that is going to have their back, that's going to do the heavy lifting for them and create a stress-free environment. Now, one, for realtors, you need to be on social media, on Instagram and YouTube. This month alone, I have over 109,000 views on my Instagram, okay? And I actually help people also, like I said, realtors get on the front page of YouTube with any phrase or keyword, okay? The other thing that realtors, need to do, and this is what I coach realtors, and I've not been a realtor, but I teach and coach realtors on how to sell without selling. Now, yes, real estate is a sales industry. I can't stand the word sales, and most people can't stand to claim themselves in sales because of a bad experience that they had. And so what you need to learn to do is build those relationships where you're not repelling people, where you don't see pushy or desperate on social media. And a lot of you, no offense, are on social media or on Instagram, and I call it house vomit. You've been told, to show houses, sell, sell, sell. A lot of brokers out there, all I do is see houses. And I call it house vomit. And people don't like that. It makes it look like you only care about selling the house, that you don't care about the person. So it's your approach on social media. And so a lot of people come to me and they're asked, well, what do I do? Well, that's why, click the link below. I will talk to you for like 20 minutes and we can do a discovery call on maybe a different approach. So you want to sell homes. I get it. But it's your approach on how you do it. A lot of people that I have coached in real estate, unfortunately, I'll give you an example. Let's say a buyer is coming in from California and they're moving to another state. They assume because the person in California lived in $1 million mansion that they're going to want that in the place you're in. So you're like, okay, what's your price range? You tell them your price range, but then you start looking for these homes and they might not be interested in any of them. They might, want a smaller house. They might, want to be in a different location. They might have gone from California to another state. I'm using this as an example, and they want a totally different vibe. It could be that they do want a $500,000 house, but they don't want it in the area that you think they want it in. And so you have to ask questions, and a lot of realtors don't ask questions. I have one person I coach in real estate, and he has blown it up because he does the heavy lifting for buyers and sellers, and he makes it known that I will do the heavy lifting for you. So what are you doing different than every other realtor? I would not recommend TikTok. People like long form video. People will go to YouTube and search for a house before they go to Google, and they sure won't go on TikTok to look for a house. If you think that they're going to go on TikTok and buy a house, you're mistaken. Okay, people like to start and stop videos, and with TikTok it's very difficult to do that. So these are my tips. I am actually going to do a webinar this week, and follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel. I do not just work with realtors, okay? I work with everyone, but I can give you some guidance. My realtors who sold 28 million this year, and my other realtors that did phenomenal on social media, I can guide and help you with that. But this is not about me. This is, giving you tips, some tips, what to do, what not to do. All right. You want to be the realtor that comes from a point of inspiration, not desperation, because there are a lot of people who are desperate. Now that the rules have changed, and a lot of you have lost money, okay, and you want to leave real estate because it's difficult, you can actually, believe it or not, sell homes and get prospective clients on social media, on Instagram, but it is not the way you think, where you're vomiting homes. There are some strategies that I actually teach my realtors on, how to connect with certain people on social media. Okay, you want to be the one that they go to, that you are the one that they think of. And a lot of people are not interacting with these people that could bring them so many sales. I mean, my clients, my coaching clients, yes, it is referral based, but it's not what you say, it's how you say it, it's who you interact with. And if you have an ego and you say, well, I'm not going to interact with those people, why would I want to follow those people? Well, you are leaving a lot of money on the table. So anyway, I hope this helped. Click the link below. How I went from nurse to a New York Times author to, coaching on communication, how to sell without selling, getting people on the front page of YouTube, was how I communicated with people, what has happened to me. And I don't say this stuff to impress you, but to impress upon you its power, is, how I got into Forbes and Entrepreneur magazine, and everything was Instagram. How I, have interviewed Walker Hayes and Real Talk Kim and TD Jakes, and I have someone coming up this week from MTV. Everything that has happened to me has been building relationships online, and it's happened quick. And, have you ever, gone to or thought of a person who needs a product or service? Like, oh, I know so-and-so, but you always think of that person. You want to be that realtor, that they think of. There's literally, like, for instance, oil change places. There are oil change places I refuse to go to, because when I bring my car in, the first thing out of my mouth is, don't try to sell me anything. They try to sell you. Whereas this other place, 40 minutes away, they really care about me. They're not going to try to sell me anything, and they're honest and genuine, okay? And that is who you want to be as a realtor, So anyway, thanks.